It's a wide-ranging audience that the president is speaking to. You have manufacturers of everything as small copper lanterns and wiffle balls to the F-35 fighter jet that Lockheed Martin, as the president mentioned, had placed on the south lawn of the White House. Of the larger companies, though, a lot of them are there to hear that trade message that you just heard the president saying. He said, "We're talking to China very seriously," which is an interesting remark considering what we heard from the Treasury Secretary over the weekend, where he essentially said that no progress had been made in recent weeks with China, which is certainly a comment that the market was hanging on. Now, as for Mexico, President Trump praising the incoming president of Mexico. He said he's a great guy, that they had a long phone conversation, and that the U.S. and Mexico are going to be doing something very dramatic. But in the comments that we just heard, the president didn't really allude to exactly what that would be. We know the White House is negotiating both a bilateral deal with Mexico as well as a trilateral NAFTA deal. But my sources say the strategy there is essentially to broker a deal with Mexico and then force Canada to come along with that, to basically say, we've already agreed to this, you're either in or you're out. That might not be a successful route to go with Canada, which has shown itself to be a very tough negotiator in this process. So we'll see. We'll see what happens this week when the Mexican economy minister comes to the U.S. for those talks and whether they can, in fact, get something, in the president's word, dramatic, negotiated.
It's a lot to keep track of, Kayla. On Europe, President Trump said they've been very tough. They're coming to see me on Wednesday. He said, I hope we can work something out. If we can't, we're going to tax their cars. I mean, do you have any sense, based on your reporting, about what the administration specifically wants out of the Europeans to make some sort of deal?
Well, they say that when the president met with G7 allies and met at NATO, that what he said is he wants to lower all tariff barriers across the board, that he sat down and he proposed a free trade deal and said, you take away your tariff barriers, we'll take away ours. That's what officials say defends the president as a free trader. We've heard that quite often. So essentially what the White House wants is for the EU to come and say, we are going to be lowering our tariffs on automobiles if you guys drop this investigation. But what we've heard so far from the German chancellor in her press conference on Friday, as well as a spokesperson for the EU today, is that President Juncker might not necessarily come with a fully baked offer intact. What they're going to be doing is just opening up a discussion and seeing what flows from that. So it might not be as codified as the White House necessarily wants.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.